Hello, today we'll learn Java flow control. So in our previous video, in our previous class, we learned Hello World program, JDK, JRE and JVM. What is the purpose of this and what is the functionality of this? We have explained and also explained Java variable, literal, data type, operator, basic input, output. This we have discussed. And I have also given some basic example of Java programming instead of Hello World also. That we have covered in our first class. Today we'll learn Java flow control. In this class, we'll learn how we'll write if-else statement, switch statement, for loop, for each loop, while and do-while loop, break statement, continue statement, as well as with some example. With some example, we'll learn this. These topics we'll cover today. If, switch, for loop, for each loop, while, do while, break, and continue. How we'll use this in our Java program. If anybody have any idea, any others language like C, C++, or C Sharp, then they know better and they will understand very easily. But if you not know, that also not difficult. It's very simple, very simple. So I'll give all example in this class. In program, we'll use this if-else statement to run the block of code along more than one alternative. For example, assign a grade A, B, C based on the percentage obtained by a student. If you percentage obtained 9, then A 17, then B, else get C. Okay, I am giving this example in practical, then it will more easy. In everybody know this, what is the main method and what is the main class and what is the main.java. I explained everything in our earlier class. Today, now I'm going to explain if-else statement and also explain nested if also. Int a, b, c, I have declared 3 variables here. And I am declaring one scanner class object. Okay. This is also I discussed in our earlier class. Now, extent. Similarly, I am connecting another value b. Now, I want to pin the maximum value among these two numbers. What is our target? I'll pin the maximum value of these two numbers. Then what I'll do? I'll implement if. I'll write some condition. How I'll check that A greater than B? If this condition is satisfied, then we'll write some statement here. If condition not satisfied, then we write some statement within else part. So in if have two part, like any condition. If say any condition, the condition have two result only. Either the condition is satisfied or condition is not satisfied. Apart from these two result, you have not any other alternate option. So whatever condition if you think, that condition have only two result, either true or false. If condition true, then this section will execute. Whatever statement you written, that will execute. Whatever valid statement you written, that will execute. If condition not satisfied, then this statement will execute. Both will not work together. Either this section will execute or this section will execute. Both will not execute together. That is the first condition, first information for if statement. In if you put some condition, that is, this is the condition. Whatever condition you like, you can put based on your logic, based on your on the basis of your question or your requirement. You'll put the condition. Maybe there are three numbers, then you can put some uh, logical operator and a greater than c also. That you can also put. But here you can write some condition. So whatever condition you want, that you can write here. After that, you can print here system.out.println a. Then a will print. If the condition is not satisfied, naturally we can say the b is maximum. Here we'll print b. This is very simple. So if statement we can write in this way. If we run this program, then system will ask your number 45 and I have 77. Then 77 is printed. As I have first value stored in A and second value stored in variable B. And we have checked that A greater than B, and here we are saying that the condition is not satisfied. That's why B value is printed here. Okay. If you run this program again and enter that value 34 and 22, then it will print 34 as this condition is satisfied. That's why this statement is executed. Okay. This is clear now. Now I am collecting another value, say C. Now you have three numbers. So you have collect three numbers from a user, and now you want to print the maximum number among these three numbers. Then what you will do? Here, if A is maximum, then this value, A pocket's value, should be greater than B as well as greater than C. Then only we can say A is maximum. So what I will do? For that, I can put here ampersand A greater than B, A greater than C, and you print C. If this condition, when you put the AND operator and this operation you have entered, then both condition have to satisfy. If any of this condition is false, not satisfied, then this will go to this section. And if this both condition is satisfied, then only entering this loop, entering this section and execute these statements. If you put that or condition here like this, then if any of this company, any of condition is satisfied, if A is greater than B, then also it execute. If A greater than C, then also it execute. Even both conditions satisfied, that time also execute. But when you put the AND, then you should both conditions have to execute, have to satisfy. Then only this statement will execute. Otherwise, this section will execute. So here we understand that if A is greater than B as well as greater than C, then only we print A is maximum. So if this condition is not satisfied, then we are 100% sure that A is not maximum. Then which is maximum? Either B or C. That time, within the else part, within the else section, we can put another if. This is called nested loop. B greater than C. We can put here B greater than C. Here we can print B, and here we can add another else also, and print the line C. If you check this very closely, then you can see the just I'm saying the full if statement. This is the if block. Here, if there is a condition, if condition satisfied, then this line will execute and exit from this program. If this condition not satisfied, means A is not greater than B or C or both, then this cursor will go to this section. And here again we'll check B is greater than C. Because here we have finalized that A is maximum. If this condition not satisfied, then A is not maximum. Then will the maximum either B or C. So that's why we are not considering A here, only checking B and C. B is greater than C, then we'll print B or print C. Very simple. This is the nested loop. Why it is nested loop? Loop if this is nested if statement, as is this is if statement within a if statement. Now you can run this program. $52 is the maximum here. You can run this program again and check that number. What is the result? Okay. Just go through this code and check. This is if and nested if I have entered here. Sometime this is also happen. So if A is maximum, then only we will print okay. Otherwise, we'll do nothing. Like this. Else is not mandatory for if condition. So if you want to print this line, if this condition is satisfied, then only print okay. After that, you can write any other statement also. End. Like this. But if this condition is satisfied, only this line will print. Here have not any else part. This is also possible. So if you need this also you can do that. So some situation may come that if any condition satisfied, then only you execute this statement. Otherwise, you have to not do anything. You will skip this section and execute the rest of this statement. You will not execute this part of this statement. Okay. Like I'm run this program. I'm entering 23, 52, 42 and this. So is end. No values printed, which is within the if statement. If we run this program in this way and enter that value 45, enter 23 and 11, then it will print okay and end. This value will print. Okay. So if else and nested if, both I have discussed. Now in our slide have one example. There is a we will calculate the grade of a student based on their percentage marks. Okay, let this I am modifying this program only, then it will work. Say here I am getting another variable total, and here I am saying double say ABG or percentage, whatever you can declare. I'm considering all 100 exam are in 100 marks. First subject number, and subject number. Okay. Now here I'm calculating total. First I'm calculating total equal to A plus B plus C. Average is total divided by 3, as there is 3 subject. And if all are 100 marks exam, so average is a percentage. If it is not 100 marks, then we can calculate that percentage calculation. We can do that divided by 100 percentage calculation that we can do. Now I am putting one condition as per the slide. I am putting on condition grade A, B, C. The if average mark is percentage is greater than 90. So if here, if ABG is greater than 90, equal 90, I'm putting greater than equal 90, 90 or more than 90, then dot println get A. Else, else when this part will execute, when the average marks is more than 90, then this part will execute. If average marks more than not more than 90, then cursor will goes to this section. This section will not execute. Then comes to this section. Here I will add another if abg greater than equal to 75. I hope that is yes 75. Then I'll print B. Else above 65 get C. Else here I will put another condition. If AVG greater than 65, C, get C. Else I can put some value or we can ignore that. So if value is less than 65, then nothing will print. If we run this program now, then if less than value is less than 65, then it will not print. No value. If average marks is less than 65, then no value will print. Let's run. I'm gonna run this. When you run this program, if you enter the value 45, 66, and 2012 only, then you will get end. So no value is pinned. As here is average marks is, if you calculate that average marks is less than 65. But if you enter that value, if you enter the value, say 78, 98, and 90, 89, then the grade is B. You can put average value also here. AVG. Then it will be clear, more clear. Average value 81, that's why print B. If I enter the program again, run this program again, and enter the value 90, 98, 97, then get will print A. A value is printed. So this is very simple if and else statement. Okay. If you put any other condition also here, you can add that. Get D. Or bad. Like this, you can put. Now, if you enter that value like this number, then bad. Like this will be. Okay. You can ignore or you can enter that value. That is your our if condition, if statement is execute. Here is giving some example here. Condition is the Boolean expression such as is greater than 18. If condition evaluate the to true statement are executed. If condition is evaluated to false, then statements are skipped. If else, then else. If else statement I have already explained. We can read this. In Java, we have an if else if leader that can be used execute one block of code along multiple other block. Java if else statement. Okay. Now one important things I will discuss, uh, that is sometime in books you can see, book or internet you can see, this curly bracket is not missing. This is not printed here. What happened? This is also correct if average marks is more than 90 or equal 90, then grade will be A. But here we are not entered any curly bracket. What happened? If the statement is only one line, you have only one line of statement, one line or one statement, then you can ignore the curly bracket. If you have multiple line of statement, then you have to enter curly bracket within a curly bracket. So if you ignore that, then if it is possible only it's single statement, then only you can ignore that curly bracket. If you have multiple statement, then you can ignore, you can't ignore that. Here also you can ignore, as within else have only one statement, this statement. Within that there are several statements, so here also you can ignore that. This will also execute. Grade A. First line is printed. If you run again and enter some less value, then get B, bad is printed. Average marks 59. The bad marks. So in this case, is your statement, when you're one line of statement, then you can ignore the curly bracket. Otherwise, you have to get the calculate. If you have multiple line of statement for the condition, then you have to enter the curly bracket. So I suggest always use the curly bracket. That is less your bug, less your issue. I always use the curly bracket. Either it is single line statement or multi-line statement. I always prefer to use the curly bracket. But sometimes even in book or some internet in Java program, you can see that. So curly bracket is missing. That means there are only single statement will execute. Okay. This is clear for if statement, I hope. Now I am coming to switch statement. But you can go through this slide, you can take the screenshot and can go through that. If you have any question, any doubt, you can ask. Now I am coming to switch statement. I am entering in this program only. Here I am entering enter the month name. I am giving example, then it will be clear. I am not saying that much of theory of switch statement. Page month. I think this variable is not necessary now, as I am collecting only one value and I have not any calculate value. I am removing all statement from here. These are not needed. Now I will enter switch statement. A. If I put that, yeah, quick. I'm entering only 5, not 12. I know that we have 12 months, but I'm entering only 5. If you understand that, then you can also complete this program. Right. So what is switch statement? The switch statement allows us to execute a block of code along many alternatives. Suppose you want to execute some statement on the basis of some value. So if this value is this, then it will execute this. If value is this, then you want to execute this. If this value is this, then you can do same things in if also. You can do same things you can do in if. That is also true. You can do that, and that is also possible. You can do that. No issue. You can put in this way: if a is equal to 1, then you can print system.out.print. Yeah. Again, you can write here if a equal to 2, then you can write system.out.print in February, March, like this. You can write this. But here you could notice that here we are not checking greater than, less than, nothing. Only if the value is 1, then you will print this line. If the value is 2, then you want to print this line. Like this type of scenario you are facing, then better you use switch statement. But again, I am repeating that you can do same things by use if statement. Okay. So what is the syntax of switch statement? In switch, the variable name. That means your variable name you will mention here. Which value you need to compare. After that, you have a value case. That is case 1. Then you'll print this. And after that, you enter the break. Break means after executing this statement, cursor will move to the end of this line. This section cursor will move. If this condition is not satisfied, then the cursor will move the next case, third case, fourth, sixth, like this. Up, top, down approach, it will execute. If any condition satisfied, if any value is matched, then this section of code will execute and exit from this cursor. If I run this code, if I enter the month is 3, then you will put the March. Others value will not print. So this is the switch case statement. But if you ignore the break statement, what happened? I'm commenting this line. Let's see. If I not enter the break statement, if I ignore this break statement, I'm entering again 3. What happened? Last time it's been March and end. As in last line of the program is entered end. That's why end word is been there. Now I am entering it. Now I'm entering here. March, April, May, and end. So all value is pinned here after this condition, after this matched. So whenever any value match, then rest of the line will execute. Then no case will check that that value is 4 or 5, that will not check. So if any case is matched, after that execute all statement, whatever written after that check, all value will be printed or all statement will be executed. Not only print, you can do another things also. You can do another calculation also. So all value will be printed here. Okay. So for that, in switch statement, we always use break. Break is a statement that will execute statement. Break is not execute. Break will terminate from the loop, terminate from the switch case. I can say terminate from the switch case. So whatever match, that line will be execute only and terminate from this section. Okay, this is our case statement. You can implement in this scenario, you can use case statement. Now, one most important thing is loop. This is our branching. We are saying in programming language, we are saying branching. So if this condition satisfied, this branch will execute, this branch will not execute. If condition not satisfied, this branch will execute. Like this, we are executing. This is called branching. Now we are coming to loop. In loop, what is the purpose of loop? When we need to execute some statement or one statement multiple times, that time we implement the loop. When we implement the loop will help to execute same task multiple times. That time you enter the use the loop. Suppose you want to print your name multiple times, 5 times. You can write in this way. Say I'm commenting this line also, I'm commenting this line also. Now I'm printing that system dot out dot println. Say Sunil. Sunil. Now you want to print this line. You can print this 10 times or 5 times. You can write this 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 times. If you run this program, then Sunil will print 7 times. If you check that 1 2 3 4 5 6. If you need to print 100 times, you can write this code. But you would notice that same line is executed all times. In this scenario, you can use loop. So if this want to print multiple times, you will enter the loop. In that case, you will write, like we have 3 types of loop in our Java programming: for each, while, and do while. This 4 type of loop we can implement. Here, first I am explaining for loop. After that, I will explain for each and while and do while. But first, I am coming to for loop. What is the syntax of for loop? I can declare one variable. Okay, already there will be one variable a. I can use a. Here a is 0 and a less than, say I am printing 10 and a plus plus. After that, I'll write this. In for have 3 part. If you check that, if you check very closely, you can see that there are 3 part in for loop. How many parts? 3 part. This is your first part, this is your first part, this is your second part, and this is your third part. 3 part is here. First, second, and third. 2 semicolon. 2 semicolon. In between, 2 semicolon is there. Here also same rules apply. If you have single statement, you can ignore this curly bracket. If you have multiple statement, you have to write the curly bracket within the curly bracket. But I always write curly bracket. But here we'll focus in these 3 part: first part, second part, and third part. This is the initialize part. Initialization. So when entering the loop, when cursor comes to this line, this for loop line, then this section will execute first, a equal to 0. So a is a variable and that value we are assigning as a 0. You can assign any value also. You can put 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever value you want, you can assign. But here we are assigning 1. Okay, or 0, whatever you can assign. You are assigning 1 or I'm entering 0. After executing this statement, then verify this condition. If the condition is satisfied, a is less than 10, yes, we have just assigned that value a is 0. We're not do anything here, and we are checking this condition. Yes, this condition is satisfied. If that value we have assigned the value is 50, 60, then this condition is not satisfied. Then loop will not execute. If the value is satisfied, if this condition is satisfied, then this statement within this curly bracket, all statement. Here I have written only one statement. If I write 10 or 20 statement, that will execute. This part will not check first time. First time, when entering the loop, this value will assigned. So this is the assigned, the value will be assigned, the initialized part. After the condition will be verified, and this statement will execute. After that, when cursor come to this line, after executing this line, when cursor come to in this point, then cursor will move to this section, in this section. I will move the cursor. After n, cursor will move this section. Then a value, a plus plus, I explained in our previous class. You can check that a plus plus means a equal to a plus 1. What is the initial value of a? Initial value is 0. Now a equal to a plus 1, that means a value is 1. Increase by 1. So a value is 1. And after that, check this condition. Increase the value and check this condition. If condition satisfied, then this statement execute again. Then cursor will not move to this part. This part only execute first time. When you entering the, when cursor entering the loop, that time also execute this part. After that, never execute this section of code. This section of code never execute. Only cursor come to this section, move here and increase that value or decrease, whatever your logic, based on that, increase or decrease or whatever other statement you can write. You can do multiplication, you can print something, whatever you can do. This statement will execute, and after that, check this condition. If condition satisfied, then print this value. I hope this is clear now. So if we run this program, then 10 times will print it 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Why it's 10? Less than 10. 0 to less than 10. You can print the value. You can print here like this. You can print here plus. Here you can print A. Then you can check that. So first execute A equal to 0. So we expect 0 first, print 0. After that 1, 2, 3, 9 to 9. Up to 9 will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So in this way you can print this value. First you should know this 3 statement, 3 part. Then you know that everything. If you ignore this statement, then a value will not increase, then loop will infinitive loop, always loop will execute. If you ignore this part, this is also okay. You can put execute, but a have not any value, so you will get any exception. But in before that you can assign on value. Before that also you can assign value a equal to 0, whatever. You can assign this part also a plus plus here also. This is also correct. Here only, so no initial part. So that's what will only condition is entered. So after entering the loop, first check the condition. If condition satisfied, then execute this. After execute this line, and after come again condition. So these 2 part you can ignore in this way. This way also you can write that. You can check this program also. Okay, you can this. Okay, in this way, if you want to implement in this way, in that case, instead of for, you can use while. Instead of for, you can use while. In while, have only one part, one section, that is only condition. That is only condition. Whatever condition you want, you can write here. If condition is satisfied, then only this statement will execute. There have no option to initial value or increment decrement value. This statement, this type of statement is not available. This is clear. So for and while, both loop are very simple. You can implement this way. If you run this program, this will execute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so started from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. It's printed. So for and while I have explained. You can put any another condition also. Suppose I am giving another example for while loop. Say you want to pin the calculate the number of digit in a number, then you can put one number is C, and C initial value is 0. We are collecting number, and I am removing this line, and here I am counting A equals to A divided by 10 and C plus plus. Here I am putting the condition A not equal 0. So suppose any user enter the value, say run this program first. After that, I will pin that value. See, now I will run this program. Now entering that value 456, and digit number of digit is 3 digit number. How it's work? Whenever you enter any value in this variable, the value is stored in this variable A. After that, you are checking that value is 0 or not. The value is not 0. You have entered 456. After entering this loop, you are dividing this number A equal to A divided by 10. As A is the integer variable, so whenever you dividing the number is 10, then last digit will be removed, because 456, if you divide it by 10, then result will be 45.6, and integer can contain only integer part, not decimal part will not store. So that's why the last digit will be removed from this, from variable A. So 45, then C value will be 1, as C initial value is 0, and this once this statement execute, then C value is increased by 1. So now C value is 1. After that, cursor goes to this point, A is not 0, again execute this statement, A will be 45 divided by 10. Again the value is 4.5. So we'll store only integer part, not decimal part. So now A value is 4, and C is previous value was 1, currently C value is 2. Again go to this point, A is not 0, then again execute this loop, A equal to A divided by 10. That means 4 by 10. 4.4 by 10 equal to, that means 0.4. That means 0.4. So integer part is only 0. So A value will be the 0, and this C value will be the 3, as previous value was true. Now C plus plus, that means C value is, the current value is 3. And once this cursor comes to here, then A is 0. So this condition is not satisfied. That's why this loop will not execute more anymore. Then the value will pin here C. So that is the number of digit. So we are printed here the number of digit. If we enter 4-digit number, sorry, I have entered some wrong value, or 0. You can enter. This is 5-digit number. You can enter here. Whatever you want, you can enter this. You can check this program. So any types of numerical program you can do here using while loop or for loop. Whatever you want, you can do that. Let's go to the slide. For loop, while loop, do while loop. This is the condition, initialize expression, and true condition for loop body, and update expression. Then loop will terminate. If this condition is not satisfied, then it will exit from this loop, terminate from this loop. For each. What is for each loop? For each loop execute on basis of any collection. So when I'll explain what is collection, how collection is execute, then for loop will be more clear. But now I am giving one very simple example that you can understand the for loop. For each loop, not for loop. For loop I have already explained. Suppose I am defining one array here. What is the array? How we can define the array? You don't know, right? In this case, int arr equal to, I can print this is the array. I'm removing this line. This is the array. I have defined. Now you have to print. You have taken one integer variable a. For a equal to 0, a less than 5, a plus plus, like a, like this. You can print this. Okay, you can run this way. All values printed here. 345, 66, 5 value printed. How many values are there? 5 value you have entered. This is for loop. So in array is nothing but a one type of variable which have multiple pockets. All pockets value are the same type. Either it is integer or float or string, character, whatever. Here I have defined one integer type array, and within that I have entered 5 value. I will more explain about array in our upcoming video. But today, just to understand, this is one array have multiple value I have entered, and here I have entered one loop for loop. I am not implementing currently. For each is not implemented here. For each I will explain now. This is a very simple for loop. A equal to 0, a less than 5, a plus plus. This is the index. Here I am mentioning the index. First pocket value is index is 0. So array 0 value will be pinned. Then second value will be pinned. Third, fourth, fifth value will be pinned. This is array. Instead of this, instead of for loop, you can use this as a for each loop. How you will implement that? That I will give an example. I will do that for int say k in arr. And k. Like this, you can run this program. Here also it's meant. Just you check the syntax. Here is we are putting some initial value, condition, and loop. Here we are mentioning that only array, one variable and array. This variable will iterate enter the array. Whatever the value, here is you should mention the size of the array, but here you not mentioning the size. Only you provide the collection, k colon collection, and within that this enter the array. Throughout the array, this k will be iterate from 0 to end, lower bound to upper bound, and that value k will printed here. If you enter any another value, say 77, like this, you enter more value, then program will not change whatever you enter. But in this case, you have to enter this, change this value. But here, no need to change. All value will be printed here. This is for each loop. Now I will explain one more loop, that is do while loop. What is do while loop? In our while loop, I explain first check the condition, then execute the statement. But in do while, first execute the statement, then check the condition. In while, first when you entering the room, that time you have to put some validate. You have to have some condition. If you satisfy that condition, you will enter the room. Otherwise, you will not enter the room. But in do while, first you enter the room. When you exit from this room, then you have to check that condition. Suppose int a is a variable. A value is, I am assigning this value as a 8. Now I am putting do, and I am putting while A is less than 10. Here I am entering that A, like this, A plus plus. So if I run this program, then 8, 9 will print. 8 and 9 will be pinned. That is correct. Okay. So first we have not any condition. So we are entering the loop and this value will be pinned and a value is increased. After that, check that condition. Yes, value is now 9. So that is less than 10. So again entering the loop. Again cursor come to here and execute this statement. Execute this statement and after that a value is increased. A value is 10. This condition not satisfied. So exit from this loop. Will not enter that loop again. But if we write this program in while, it will execute fine, no issue. If we put this condition here also, a less than 10, no issue. It will execute again. It will same things will be happen. Same thing will be happen. It will pin 9 and 8 and 9, 8 and 9. Then what is the difference between this? Difference is that just a minute. If I enter the value is 80, then it will, if I run this program, there's nothing is printed. Because value is 80 and here its condition is a less than 10. So this line will not export. But in case of do while, if we put this condition here and wait, obviously do while have a one semicolon do. Then if you run this program, first time the value will be pinned. Second value, from second it will not print. But always it will enter the loop. In do while loop, always entering the loop, execute the statement. When you exit from this, after that, check this condition. So from second onward, it will not execute. But at least one times it will execute. Some situation is this type of scenario is needed. This type of scenario we can use the do while loop. Otherwise, we can use for loop or while loop or for each loop. Condition false true, this is while loop body. If condition true, then cursor go to again true condition. If false, if terminate loop. Now I'm coming to break statement and continue statement, that I will explain. What is break statement and what execute statement? Suppose I am declaring some variable a, the value is 34. I am entering one condition while or for int I equals to I less than a I plus plus. In this area, I am checking if a mode of I equal 0, then I am declaring one flag as and f equal to 0. Here I'll set f equals to 1. After this complete this loop, I'll check again if f equal to 1, then print dot println not prime. I'm checking that number is prime or not. Else prime, like this. Very simple program. This type of numerical program I have written. A equal to 34, one value is entered, and after that I'm checking this. Everybody know the prime logic. So we'll check that value from 2 to less than this number, and within that number we'll check that if number is divisible by this number, then it's okay, then flag value will be 1, and if flag is 1, then will be not prime. If this condition not satisfied, like if anyone entered 23, say 23 is entered here, 23, then this condition will not satisfy, so a value will never will be 0, a 1, so a value will be 0. Then it will be prime. What is that? SYSTM. I am mistake the spelling. STM. Prime. If we enter the 34 or 25, then it will be not prime. This is very simple program for each in for loop. Sorry, not for each, for loop. Now, in this case, in this example, here I am entering 25. 25 first, try to divide by 2, so it will not divide it by 2. Okay, first I go to the next point. 3 not divided, 4 not divided. When it's come 5, then it's divisible. Number will be divisible by 5. F is 1. In that time, we can say this number is prime, this number is not prime. So rest of the number, after 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 24, we need not to verify that number. In that case, we can exit from this loop, then we can enter break statement. So if any condition satisfied, or if any logic is satisfied, then we can terminate from loop. If we want to terminate from loop, that time we use break condition. Similar like switch case. I explained that in switch case. So break statement used for terminate from loop if you want to terminate. And if you not enter that break, then it will execute, but unnecessary loop will execute. 6, 7, 8, 9, all number will be tested, that check that the number is divisible or not. So that's not necessary. So optimization purpose, program optimization purpose, you should use a break statement here. Unnecessary loop will take some time. So while spend that time, if it is not necessary, that time, like if you enter the 30, whenever you divide it by 2, then it's satisfied. That number is not prime. I know that. So rest of the number need not to vary by 3, 4, 5, 6, not need. So that time we can use the break statement. Okay. So what is the purpose of break statement? If you want to terminate from loop in any stage, suppose in your loop have 100 of statement, and within that, if any condition is satisfied, you want to terminate. Otherwise, you continue the loop. That time you can use the break statement. Okay. Similar type, we have another system that is our continue. Sorry, I missed that. Continue statement. Suppose I am removing this example. I hope this is clear. We already know that prime logic. Int a equals to 95, 93, whatever. While a less than 100. I'm putting some small number. 93 is a huge number, so I'm putting only 8. A is less than 10. It will execute. And then print that number. And here I'm executing that a plus plus like this. If I run this program, it will execute. That's why yes, this line will execute. If we check this, all values 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, all value printed. Within this, if you want to print only even number, not odd number, you will not print. Then you can put here if a mod of 2 not equals to 0 but equal 1, then you wanted to continue. We'll increase that value a plus plus and continue. Run this program. 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. What is the purpose of continue here? Continue will break is exit from loop. Break statement, when you implement the break is terminate from loop. Any type loop, not only for loop. I have given example for, but you can use that while also. For each also. Whatever is needed, you can use break statement. Similar type, you can use continue also. Continue statement is execute. The cursor will move from this section to beginning of this loop. Continue will move the cursor from here to beginning. That means generally cursor comes from here and after that goes to cursor again this enter come to this condition. But in continue directly move in executing the rest of the statement will not execute. Rest of the statement will not execute. But whenever you write the continue, then cursor move from here to this condition. So rest of the statement will not execute. That is the continue statement. Continue and break. Both are very important in our logic, in our loop statement. Break and continue. Both are very important things that you should know clearly, and you can implement. When you know clearly, you understand clearly, then you can implement that. But if anybody have any question, then you can put your question. I'll give that answer. This is very important class. Loop and if case statement. Other than this statement, other than these things, you can write any program. So if you write a good program, you should use these things. Very important. You should know very well. That's it for this class. Thank you.